College made a statement last night, running all over Florida State in an upset win. And BC ran the ball 52 times for 263 yards. And on the other side, Florida State had just 21 yards on the ground. Now, DJ Uiagalelei struggled again for the Seminoles. He completed only half of his passes, throwing one touchdown and a pick, and his QBR of 27 is his lowest in a game since the start of last season. For Florida State fans, this is becoming a little too common, as it's the third time under Mike Norvell that the team is starting 0-2. It also happened in 2020 and 2021, and neither season did they make a bowl. And well, Norvell did not mince words post-game.
For us, I just sick to how the season started. Obviously tonight, I failed in preparing the team to be able to go out and respond tonight. I obviously didn't put them in a position to showcase what I believe that this football team is, and it's extremely disappointing.
It's eerily similar to Coach Norvell's words after the Georgia Tech game, and now we gave them the benefit of the doubt after that, but now 2 weeks in a row, it's a bit of a different story. So, Des, is it realistic to say that there is a real problem with FSU?
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I mean, week one, you can try to, put a spin on it, make an excuse, but week two, home opener, against an opponent that you're supposed to beat by double digits, there's a lot of blame to go around when there's a lack of performance like we witnessed last night. And as a former receiver, I'm like focusing on the passing game and trying to see, okay, is DJU going to make these throws, or the guy's going to make catches? And he missed some throws. There's no doubt about that. But guys dropped passes too. I mean, there's a lot of blame to go around. I'm listening to Louis Riddick last night on the call, who I think did a fantastic job. And look, that's just a missed touchdown opportunity. Those throws right there, you cannot afford to miss. But you have Kyle Morlock, the tight end, number 84. Lewis kept talking about how the offense wanted to get the ball into his hands. At one point, he was targeted 5 times and had 0 catches. So there's a lot of blame to go around when your offense, actually, when your team doesn't perform up to their potential.
And Des, you talk about a lot of blame going around. Let's pass some this way, because you talked about the offense. Let's go talk about the defense now. If Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, then Mike Norvell and this Florida State defense needs some help. Here's what I mean by that. There's a few plays, wheel routes is what we call them, that this Boston College team ran over and over and over again, and Florida State didn't change. Let's start with the one earliest wheel route in the game. You see that down the sideline. It's going to be a drop by the running back. Now I get it. Okay, let's go to the iPads on the sideline, make an adjustment. No, same wheel route, same result, except this time instead of dropping it, he bobbles it and runs about 40-something yards down the sideline. You know what? We'll figure it out. No issues. No, we're not going to. Same wheel route, same result. And it wasn't just in the passing game where Florida State struggled. Florida State struggled against the run. You talked about it, 52 runs. Well, 42 of them, to my count, were design runs, not broken plays. 29 of those 42 runs, about 69%, were some form of power, i.e. bringing a puller around and running the exact same type of play. 3 more of those plays were essentially we call it a drill play, a power with no puller, the same exact kind of play that beat Florida State last week in Georgia Tech, pulling guards and linebackers being out of position with bad eyes. And so if Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, some of these teams might be clinically insane.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. To me, Sam, it starts up front with the defensive line. I know the linebackers are out of place, but if they're supposed to have such an outstanding defensive line, then somebody at some point needs to make a play. And you cannot have an opponent rush for an average of 5.1 yards per carry. At the most, they should average maybe 2.5. But Boston College was able to double that last night. They controlled the line of scrimmage, just like Georgia Tech did. I think that the Seminoles defensive line came into this season with a whole bunch of hype and fanfare, but they have not lived up to it so far.
Not at all. It looks like FSU is going to have to make a little bit of a DJ U-turn. All right, Pete, I'm done, I swear. Pete, on the BC side of things, the Eagles played an unbelievable game in their first opening win versus a ranked opponent since 1976. How big was this win, Pete, for Bill O'Brien and his squad?
It's really hard to overstate, Victoria, how big of a win this is for Bill O'Brien to kick off his tenure at Boston College. This is a program that hasn't won 8 games in a season since Frank Spaziani was the coach back in 2009. And here they are with a road top 10 win. Bill O'Brien gives them right out of the chute. And look, they developed a clear identity. BC wants to win up front on the lines. You obviously heard Sam and Desmond talk about how they dominated in those places. And really what you saw the value of Bill O'Brien was with Thomas Castellanos, the quarterback. He played clean, he played efficient, and just like those wheel routes that Sam talked about, he ran to just acres of green grass. Every time he tucked the ball and ran, especially when it was designed, there was just swaths of open field. He tied for the nation's lead in touchdown runs last year with 13, and it looks like he's a perfect fit as he's developed as a passer, and it remains one of the nation's most dangerous runners as a quarterback.
Of course, Pete. Thank you so much. And of course, BC was also playing with heavy hearts over the loss of 2 incredible former BC hockey players, Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau, who were killed last Thursday. And we here at CFB Live send our thoughts and prayers to their families.